Starting off, I got some new UGC Roblox accessories you can buy with the Tower of God Thorn in a few different colors. So you can wear this on basically anything, but it works well with a few different sets. We'll be dropping even more hair and accessories in the future for all the anime and manga you want to see, so join the group and follow me on Roblox to help me out. Alright, let's get into it. What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we're back with another Deepwoken update. Today, I'll be testing everything I can to show you all the new stuff coming from this patch. Last week, the Titus boss fight dropped with a bunch of new weapons, enchants, mantras, bells, and armor. This update is justifiably smaller on the content side of things, trying to balance out the new stuff, but again, let's talk about this week. As always, the best way to experience everything new is to hop in the game and try it out for yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe so I can hit 120k, and let's get into it. Touching up on the content from last week, Titus has received multiple different changes alongside the dungeon to make it a little bit more balanced in terms of gameplay. It's a bit more difficult to start this boss instead of bugging through the jail or spawning him from above his cell, so the flow of the fight should be normal and working as intended. Nothing too game-changing has occurred to the boss fight itself, except a few fixes being ironed out, so if you're waiting on some issues to be resolved, hop back in and try it out. Now, with the new BLIGHTSURGER oath, that has got a ton of changes, because quite honestly, it was objectively underpowered on its release. Previously, the damage being dealt on all of the BLIGHTSURGER oath moves was very underwhelming, and hopefully that's been changed with these fixes. For starters, Sovereign Drive's damage has been buffed slightly and now scales off strength, and this change applies to other surge mantras as well. Sky Crash now scales with strength, resulting in a buff, Warp Kick now does decent damage, and even the Sovereign Critical scales off strength, so you can actually do something with this oath. There's a few more changes here and there to the actual behavior of the moves, but they mostly stayed the same. The only massive update to how Sovereign State plays is that it's always going to be a manual activation. Previously, you would be forced into this mode after filling up the mode, and sometimes it killed your combos since it switches your weapons, but now you will only awaken by pressing X manually. For the most part, these changes sound pretty great, but we'll have to see how this oath performs in game. Leave your own thoughts down below about this. With some fully new content, we finally see some additions to a legendary with the PLEEKSTY's INFERNO. In this patch, this weapon has received new swing animations that are pretty interesting and very different. Previously, this thing worked like any other club with stiff swings, but now it's more fluid and exclusive to the legendary. I think it's pretty decent since it finally stands apart from the rest. Moving forward to a weird in-game change with some lore tied to it, it's time for the Star Boot DROUGHT. So according to the patch notes, Star Boots have become a scarce resource, making them much harder to find, but in the future they may return to the spotlight. Essentially, this means there's a very large drought of these items in the current game circulation, but if you still have the Star Boots, they can still be used and can be traded, but you just can't get them as much. I think this is very experimental, shifting the rarity of items to see what happens, but I don't know why exactly it is happening. I have no clue. Besides this, in this patch, there are new ways to unlock recipes when it comes to craftable equipment. A lot of the new game-changing armor sets that released last week with Titus were very rare to see since nobody understood how they could be crafted, but there's a new way to figure them out. By defeating Titus once, you'll be granted a sheet of recipes in your menu showing you what you need to craft that equipment. So I think this is going to happen for future equipment, so we don't have to guess. It's a whole lot easier. Up next, with another large gameplay balance that affects almost everyone, healing has been reduced in a few different ways. Healing at a campfire or by entering the passive Warrior's Respite healing now has an increased curve before you get the full healing rate. When you sit down, your healing starts off slower but recovers to the main rate as time goes on. Basically, you can't just sit down for 1 second and heal at the same rate you would normally. It takes some time to ramp up. Besides this, the Curse of the Void enchant proc and the Ring of Pestilence now reduce healing over time if they hit people, which should be pretty powerful when stacked together. Beyond this, for an update to base behavior and gameplay, the talent Etherblade is now innate. Everybody can use this on spawn. Overall, you can gain ether when parrying mantras, and it's a good reward for a well-timed defense, so I'm not really complaining. With yet another ether-related change, we got a rework coming to the talent EUREKA. This talent now says you gain a stack of inspiration every time you land or parry a mantra, and lose a stack when you whiff one. By reaching 3 stacks of inspiration, that buffs your next mantra damage by 10%, and that sounds pretty worth using. What do you guys think about EUREKA actually being useful? Moving on to some balance, let's talk about some of the highlights. So, to kick this off, there's a few enchant changes worth talking about. With some lore changes, the Curse of Ramon's Ember is now called the Curse of YSLEY'S Ember for lore consistency. In gameplay, the curse seems to work the exact same, just with a different name change. With a huge update to Obfuscation, it's kinda just weird and overall nerfed in my opinion. In this update, Obfuscation no longer provides any speed on hit, but its chip damage has been increased. I thought they were going to be moving away from the chip damage theme, but they did the opposite. Obfuscation's only effect in combat is an increased chip on hit, with a maximum of 50% in total. Similarly, Stone Enchant is also seeing some changes. Stone's effect purely scales off of the weapon damage being dealt instead of multipliers, which reduces the amount of posture gained on a hit. I'd say that this is a pretty large hit to the posture maximum here, which is a big nerf to the enchant. With another enchant with Harrowing, the exclusive Hollowtide enchant, this got a buff. This enchant's effect that obscures statuses on hit has now received a 50% extension to its duration. This means if you're slapped by this enchant during a fight whatsoever, good luck seeing your resources because it lasts super long. Besides this, with yet another change, we got a small adjustment to the UMBRAL Knight enchant. This option procs a secondary damaging slash on hit, but now the time it takes to come out is much faster. In the past, this was a giant problem, allowing players to parry this slash instantly and shut down all other attacks, but maybe we're gonna see that happen again. I'm not too sure, but the secondary hit comes out faster. Up next, with some legendary weapon changes, we got a few here to discuss. Revisiting the recent Shadow legendary with the WEAL and Woe, this got a few buffs. So for starters, the baseline critical received a damage buff, which I think it didn't even need, and now the running critical range has also gone up. I'm always saying the problem with these criticals comes from their casting speed, but hey, it just got buffed and maybe it's gonna be more popular. Now, onto another weapon change I'm generally not a fan of. The Imperial Staff just got nerfed, but it's in a weird way. So in this patch, the Imperial Staff's aerial crit no longer guard breaks instantly, but that doesn't really solve the root of the issue. So the problem, in my opinion, for this move is that it guard breaks in the air with insane range, speed, and AoE, and it also remained nearly unpunishable. I mean, sure, removing the instant guard break isn't bad to do, but there's other issues here that were more defining for this weapon. And with that, this week's content comes to a close. As always, hop in game for weekly battle royale and check out all the new stuff too. Tell me what you think down below and I'll tell the devs. Thanks once again to all the supporters who motivate me daily and directly support the channel. If you want to join as a member, feel free down below, and besides that, my personal Discord, guild Discord, and my UGC group are linked, so check them out. Thanks once again, and make sure to like and subscribe. It's punchin' time.